Hello and welcome back. Now, it's been a while since I last recorded, but I believe that we just saved these two dwarfs from some darkspawn. Not that lady though. And now we're off to actually start our adventure proper. So, let's go. Oh, what quest did I complete? Oh, I went past Lothering. Lothering. Yes, anyway. Gather your party and venture forth. Okay. That was something.
Bad dreams, huh?
Yeah, it must have been something I ate.
Drank more like, as in the tainted blood, remember? You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really Blight.
Okay, I'm trying to think what questions the priority is going to be. Well, yeah, it would have to be the dragon. That's kind of something he could work out himself. They think Duncan was crazy, so I'm just going to ask whether these will happen a lot.
It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too.
Okay. So, anything else I should know about?
Other than dying young and the whole defeat the Blight alone thing, no. I'm all tapped out.
The dying young bit?
Anyhow,
okay.
You're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Don't think he's mentioned that before. Okay, some new quests. Lots of new quests. Okay. So, this is the Return to Ostgar DLC. This is Soldier's Peak DLC. And the other quest we got is Talks to the Dwarfs. So yes, it looks like these two dwarfs who didn't want to come with us have actually, in the end, decided to... Oh, forgot to move the camera. Excuse me a sec. Ah. That's not it. Is it really? Ah, okay, you need to actually hold it down a bit longer. Okay, worked out, changed the camera. As I said, it's been a tiny bit since I last been here. So, I think I'm going to talk to everyone in the camp. We should probably start with Alistair. Just do it in this kind of circular order. And then work our way to do this guy last.
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Yeah, he was like a father to you.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
Well, no harm done.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. The Dalish don't practice cremation, do they? How do your people honor your dead?
We bury them and plant a tree over their remains.
That sounds quite beautiful. Life springing from death. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Anytime. Alistair approves. +4. Is there anything else you want to talk to us about, Alistair?
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
So yeah, I'm gonna ask about Arl Eamon, because he's one of the people we could go and visit.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfels. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Yeah, so that would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
Yeah, so that would also explain the bread.
And my table manners too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on a cold, hard ground, isn't it?
Is this going somewhere?
You have no sense of humor, you know that. Fine, fine. Have it your way. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Arl Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Well, if he wasn't your father, who was it?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Arl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Yeah, wasn't it inappropriate for the Earl to raise an orphan?
Probably. It was just a kindness he did to a woman who had served him anyway. I didn't sleep on silk sheets in the keep or anything. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
So, do you think the Earl will help us?
I think so, yes. This news we've heard about him being sick disturbs me, though. I wonder if we won't discover that Loghain has come to the same conclusion as we have. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Okay, so this is just what we just heard about Alistair. Yes. Right, well, we'll continue.
What do you need?
See if there's anything that we should ask him right now.
Ask away.
I'll probably ask him about being a Templar next time we do one of these talking sessions. I don't want to do them all at once, because otherwise it's just going to be a bit boring. Let's talk to the dog.
Oh, why, you little...
Are you harassing my dog?
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Yeah. Good boy.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Yes, good. You bite him again if he comes near your food. Right. That is a giant bit of cheese. Just oh, like really that bit of cheese bigger than my head. Speak to Liliana.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Yeah, this vision thing you had.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
Yeah, it does rather sound like the dream that we just had. Well, almost. Like there was a dark thing there. And anyway, dreamed of Blight.
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
It does sound an awful lot like a coincidence. But we're not going to tell her that. If she seems quite capable and we want her to come along and help, so we'll just say is that what made her want to help us.
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
Yeah, I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a Blight to stop.
Yes. It does rather bring us on to why am I still trying to stop the Blight? Like, my character only really joined the Grey Wardens, you know, out of a sense of like he was gonna die, so he had to do it one way or another. And the reason he could carry it, like, although he's quite a mercenary character, he does still realize that, you know, if the Blight was to destroy everything, that would probably be quite bad for him. So, just kind of my character's motives are more of a, he kind of has to stop the Blight. Like, the only two people he knows who can do it are Alistair or him, and Alistair's not going to go and do it by himself. So, you know, he has to kind of go and do it. Anyway, let's talk to. We've kind of finished talking to her for just now. Let's talk to Sten.
Why are we stopping?
I think we should talk for a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Are you alright?
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
Yeah, you said you were in the army.
I am.
Why did the Qunari send soldiers here?
The Antam are the eyes, hands, and mouth of the Qunari. We are how my people know the world.
Doesn't that make your view of things a little skewed?
Compared to what?
Yeah, you only learn about people you conquer.
What does anyone truly know of the world? The world changes. We change. The Antam observe what we can, just as you do. There is no point to this. We are keeping the Darkspawn waiting.
Yeah, what is your hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry, where I would say duty.
Yeah, it's not your duty to handle the Blight.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
Well, I
as you wish.
guess we'll get moving then. Okay, well, If he doesn't want to talk right now, that's okay with me. Yeah, go talk to Morgan. That has a lot of health potions. Be nice if she, shared them around.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Is Flemeth what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
Oh yeah, it's a Dalish. I didn't know there was a tale, really.
I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Yeah, how long ago was this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
That sounds like Flemeth would be angry at that kind of thing.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she spoke to spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Yeah, we've heard of Cormac. How can it be a lie?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the Great War with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Yes. Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
So how has Flemeth survived this long? Well, I assume the demon probably had a hand in it, but how exactly?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked. I'm not going to say this one, because I've already said that I haven't heard of the Flemeth legend, so I'm not going to, like, say, ah, but the legend said this. I haven't heard of it. So it was an interesting, I'm just going to say it was an interesting story.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
Yes. Though my character would know this, it's never actually explained in the game what happens, but I have to assume she died, like, at some point, because, she's not around the camp. And I think we had a conversation with an old elf in the camp about it as well. So yeah, she died.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Yes. Okay, Morgan approves. So we're getting a little bit of approval with all of our party members.
It's good to see
dwarves.
you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick at your service once again. I saw your camp and remember the kind offer that you made the last time we met. And is there anywhere safer for a poor merchant and his son to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
Yeah, you're free to stay.
Wonderful. Thank the gentleman, won't you, boy?
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Okay. Quickly save the game because I want to open my inventory. And I'm sure you know by now that this often leads to a crash. But not this time, I think. God, yes. Also, I was looking for weapons. I was seeing whether I had anything that... Yes, I thought the Thorn of the Dead Gods might have enchantment slots, but I don't think I have anything to be enchanted. I've got a few things to sell. I'm just going to check that everybody's equipped with what they're going to be equipped with. Oh, this could have an enchant. What's this? When did I get this? I mean, it's better than the axe he's using, the Ash Warrior axe, so he can use that. Yeah, so he suits the sword more anyway. Morgan, Darkspawn staff is not quite as good, I think. Sten, yep, he already has something. Not really gonna use Map, but it's fine to know. So she got Warden's longsword and an enchanted dagger. Yes. I wonder, could I like have that there? No. Oh, I don't have enough strength. I was thinking whether I could have like the Thorn of the Gods and Dead Gods and the Ash Warrior axe. But I don't have quite enough to use the Ash Warrior axe. It might be a good idea to raise my strength by just 1 to use it, because the damage it does is a lot higher. Although this does have a higher attack rating, I'm not really sure how they compare to each other, but anyway. Yes. Right. 22 health fruit and some flasks. I think that can make health potions, so I'll make sure not to sell those. In fact, I'll just keep all of that just now. Right. Speak to the merchant. Well, quick save, just to
You and your friends are formidable folk.
make sure I don't
indeed.
crash.
Good to have you along on the road.
Oh, a persuade. So what's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
So why did you leave?
One day, a noble woman came to my stall. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of bracers I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
And did you steal them?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
I see.
The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's bracers. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And now here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
So you didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
That was generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Okay. Well, I'll speak to him some more about stuff later. I don't want to interrogate him. Let's see what he has for sale.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Okay, so let's start by getting rid of things that we don't want anymore. So we don't... Oh my god, that costs a lot. Anyway, yes. Get rid of the daggers. Get rid of the greatsword. Get rid of the Darkspawn staff. I'm sure we'll find more if we want them. I'm trying to figure out whether everyone has a helmet. I think Liliana's still missing a helmet, so we'll keep that for her. Does she have boots? Well, I should probably have checked that. Yes, we're keeping that for Alistair, I think. Sell the clothing. Iron ring. Oh, gift. Runes. Lesser elixir of grounding. Never gonna use it. I might use some of these venoms, they were quite useful. I did them previously. Yes. None of that, I don't think. Does he have anything that we need? Nope. Just seeing whether he had any elf fruit or something. Right, so let's see what weapons he has. That's some weapon. Oh, I just realised what we could have done with Liliana. We can do with Liliana. We can go and check whether she is wearing stuff. Yep, she's wearing that and she's wearing that. So we can actually sell these. And we can check with Alistair's thing here. So yes, we were keeping that for Alistair. I'm getting back into it. Okay. That's tempting actually. Increased monetary gain. So if that would mean more money would drop. It's kinda useful. If we get that early, then these might start to... that might add up, so we'll think about that. That's some increased stamina regeneration. Right, okay. Oh yes, I need to look for backpack. Yeah, in case you're wondering what all of these are, these gifts, I believe that they're all from a DLC, which is why I'm not going to get any of them. Yes, we need the backpack, because that increases the amount of stuff we can carry. That'll be useful. Quite like to be a ranger for my character, so when I get 15 sovereigns, that's probably where I'll go. Right. Okay. Can I still afford the dwarf merchants thing? Yep. And then I'll buy a few health poultices. Right. That'll do. And I'm gonna save before I open my inventory again. I think I'm gonna open my inventory again. Wait, I wonder, can I go to like Morgan and then... oh, only make characters active in the camp. So I'd have to go somewhere to do that. Okay. Can I do this? I can create some venom. Okay. Create some of that. Right. Back. Save again before we go into the inventory. And yes, Dwarven Merchant spell. I'll wear that. I think it would probably... my logic is it'll probably only work on the main character. And Sten can have the increased stamina regeneration, because I seem to remember him running out of stamina last time we were using him. Right. One last person, and then we'll leave the camp. Levi Dryden. Let's see what he's doing in our camp.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levi Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levi of the coins? Levi the trader?
Duncan did not mention you.
Really? He never told you of old Levi? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What did he promise to do for you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Yeah, just tell me what I need to know. You're giving me all this backstory.
Duncan wanted to reclaim the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak, and perhaps we'll uncover evidence to restore my family's honour along the way. Nobody's been to Soldier's Peak since the Grey Wardens were banished, but I found a way. They say it's haunted, and it's certainly dangerous. Will you help me?
Yeah, how will this help us?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll help him if there's a few things up there for the Wardens, and if Duncan thought it was important, then this is probably a good place to look for, well, maybe some clues on what to do about this blight.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Okay. Well, this is the Soldier's Peak DLC, bit there, and I'll probably do that pretty early. I might do it before I go to any of the main story locations, and it's because it has a few things that are quite useful, like a chest for storing gear and such. Yes. Also, I haven't done it before, so it'll be fun for me to have a look. So, yes, we spoke to everyone in this episode, and I think I'm going to end it here. And next time, I think I'm going to go to Denerim. See you then. Goodbye.